everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video, my plan is to share some information with you on some really powerful protocols that we have been using in Barlow Herbal, and a lot of these were started by my dad almost 50 years, actually more than 50 years ago. And this is something that there is some deep personal experience in myself and my family, my friendship base at this point, and also from a lot of people who've been using these protocols for many years. Now, this is a subject that's a little bit sensitive to talk about just because of the world that we live in, how it's very difficult to teach the things that will actually help heal us from certain things. And my attempt today is to give you some ideas on some protocols that we've been using for the C word for decades at this point. In fact, recently I've been sharing some information on my other social media channels, and there's been a big interest in particular C word issues and also natural treatments that can help with that. And I've been finding some really cool old videos and old interviews, and it's really interesting what you can learn about that is still being suppressed to this day. So it's just a really interesting time to be here. So I think we just need to get creative in the way that we teach things. So one of the biggest things that people have been asking us questions about is our Essiac or Easiac. This was made popular and actually put together by a woman named Reen Case, and Essiac is her last name spelled backwards. Traditionally, this was brewed into a tea. It's still brewed into a tea. And it has burdock root, slippery elm, turkey rhubarb, and sheep sorrel. Those are the four very traditional herbs that are in Easiac or Essiac. Now, my dad added bloodroot and watercress, which are absolutely powerhouse herbs in their own right for the different malignant issues and different abnormal things that we deal with. There's a massive industry that's all formulated around treating us, not actually curing us from my perspective, in my opinion. I'm not saying you throw everything out. I say you try everything, but it is interesting how there's a lot of things that have been simply suppressed. And I believe there's a lot of things coming to light, which is really a beautiful time to be here. So before I go any further, I just want to say, any information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is meant to entertain you and educate you. When it comes to you, the health of your own body, the health of your family members, and you're dealing with any type of situation or issue, you want to make sure that you are using your own due diligence, your own research. You have a medical team behind you. A lot of times it can be a bunch of different modalities. So this is not meant to say this is exactly what you should do. This to me is sharing my information, and it's just meant to entertain you. The Easiac is one of those formulas that's been around now for more than 100 years. Okay. So this is something that is not new. It's very well known. And a lot of these powerful herbs are now coming to light individually on their own, and especially in the Easiac. So we make a tincture that has these 6 herbs, a traditional 4, and then the 2, the bloodroot and the watercress. We also put this into a reduced alcohol version because it is really good for people with pets. And your pets shouldn't do any alcohol. So cats, dogs, horses, but mostly people use it for their cats and dogs, and sometimes for children, okay? Powerful blood cleansing, blood purifying properties. There is some anti-growth properties, lots of antioxidants. Do some individual research on each of these herbs, and I think that they might blow your mind and surprise you. In fact, all 6 herbs in our Essiac, they are each individually spotlighted on this channel. And you can go to the list, Herbal Wisdom videos. It's all on a playlist, and just search through. If you want to know a little bit more about bloodroot from my own experience and research, you can click on that right on this channel, and you can look it up. Do a little bit of your own research. So after I share what I know about it, then you can even broaden it. And if this is a fun rabbit hole for you to go down, then I would really suggest doing it because you can learn so much. Another formula that my dad formulated once he had formulated his additional 2 herbs to the Essiac, he did a formula called East Star. East Star has Pata Arco, Suma root, Chinese astragalus, and chaparral. Again, all 4 of these herbs are spotlighted individually on this channel. So you can, go down and find these and do a little bit deeper dive. E-Star, from everything my dad taught me and everything I've researched about it, it does 2 main things. It facilitates T cell function, which is your immune system, and it prevents cell mutation. And so this is, you think about anything that's abnormal growth, abnormal cells, this prevents cells from mutating, the combination of these herbs. Now, there is one thing to be aware of. If you're going to be doing anything with suma root, suma is a powerful adaptogen, and it cannot mess with your hormones. It can actually help balance your hormones, bring your hormones into where you need them to be. But if you're dealing with an estrogen-based any issue that is questionable, then you should not do E-Star or anything with suma. So that's just something to put on your radar and do a deeper dive research. So if you wanted to do the Essiac, we do make a tincture of just pure Pau d'Arco. Pau d'Arco has amazing properties, anti-candida, great for your immune system, antioxidant power, tons of micronutrients, minerals, and even some vitamins. It's an absolute powerhouse. Pau d'Arco is the inner bark of a tree. Really, really cool to work with. I've made my own tincture of Pau d'Arco for decades, and I love it. So there's a lot of things that it's good for, and I would replace that if you wanted to do the Essiac. We suggest Essiac and E-Star together. A lot of times they come in a set, but if you're having an estrogen-based issue or hormonal-based issues, or things with this word, then what you want to do is replace it. If it has suma in it, don't do the E-Star, do the Pau d'Arco. There's also a handful of other things that can affect each individual issue you might have. For example, if your issue is in your kidneys, I would suggest adding kidney cleanse, which is a beautiful tincture of kidney-specific cleansing, nourishing, supportive, protective, healing, all of those things, herbs in the kidney cleanse tincture that you can easily add to the Essiac, the E-Star, and of course, I would suggest adding LDM 100, which is lomatium, to help keep the body clear of any microbes like viruses, yeast, bad bacteria, things that might prevent the body from healing, and kind of clear those out of the way and make your environment really good. If you're familiar with lomatium, you know what I'm talking about. Now, there are definitely some videos on this channel about lomatium, also a single one about Pau d'Arco. So really, really cool. I've researched all these deeply over the many decades of my life. And for the last few years, I've been spotlighting an herb every week. And there's quite a list of herbs that you can just go down the playlist and see which ones interest you. And a lot of great information that I hope would educate you and entertain you. I would also suggest, besides the kidney cleanse for kidney specific, but the lung blend. If there's specific lung issues, you can add that right into the protocol. Also, things like Una de Gato, which is cat's claw. Cat's claw has powerful, powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It balances intestinal flora. This is also the inner bark of a tree that actually grows in Peru. Very, very well known. It's either cat's claw, but we make a tincture of it that we call Una de Gato, which is the same thing, cat's claw. Also take a look at something like Feverfew. Feverfew is a beautiful plant. It's in the daisy family. It's got this beautiful little white flower. And Feverfew is, of course, got its name because of what it does for fevers, headaches, migraines, things like that. But Feverfew contains an alkaloid called parthenolide. And parthenolide, from the studies that I've read over the years, stimulates adult stem cells naturally. Don't take my word for it. Do some due diligence and do some research. Go down that rabbit hole. When I first learned about Feverfew, which was a little bit more than 20 years ago, there was a practitioner in California that I connected with when I was only a few years into restarting my dad's company. And we did a lot of collaboration and a lot of sharing information. And he actually spent we spent a lot of really good conversations with him, really educating me beyond the things that I knew from my dad. And he was a very, very good friend of my dad's. So he's the one who actually helped me do a deep dive, like I said, more than 20 years ago, into the medicinal properties and the power of this humble little plant called Feverfew. It's a perennial. It grows in the wild. I can identify it up in the hikes that I do here. And it's also very easy to grow in your yard. So this one, besides all the benefits, like it's got antioxidant power and all of that, but its ability to stimulate adult stem cells based on that alkaloid, parthenolide. Do a little bit of research. It's really beautiful. So if there is a blood type of cancer that could really benefit from that, Feverfew would be something to put on your radar. I would also suggest turkey tail mushrooms. These have been studied, especially in the last 50 years, by the medical industry and by there's a lot of research that's happening on natural substances and natural herbal medicine that really encourages me. But here's what I think we need to really be paying attention to. I think a lot of times these things are studied so that they can possibly, and I know they already do this, isolate out a compound and then patent it and create a synthetic version of it. It's like what's happening right now with all of the nicotine pouches and patches and gum and vapes and inhaler things, all of the things that are out there. Many people are starting to learn that we have nicotine receptors in our body. But what happens now is they're getting their nicotine instead of from a good source, which is your highest potency is the tobacco plant. But all of these other things are synthetic nicotine. It's not real. It's not made from the plant. So that's exactly what happens when something gets studied in the medical profession. I think that the deeper dive goes into isolating this out, and this is just my own opinion based on everything I've seen and people I've talked to literally over the decades at this point. And I think that we need to educate ourselves on what we're actually getting. And are we getting something that's beneficial? Because I think it's the whole. It's like isolating out a curcuminoid out of turmeric or a beta carotene out of something like a carrot. There's a couple hundred different beta carotenes in a carrot. And you can't patent all the nutrients in the way Mother Nature grows it so perfect. Same with like turmeric. Turmeric is also something that might be beneficial to add into your supplement routine if you are dealing with any type of specific issues based on this topic we're talking about. Right. Anyway, this is something that I think that you could spend a lot of time on. If you are interested, we do have, many of you are familiar with this. This is our little catalog. It's very short. It's very easy to read, easy to put together. You can download this if you just go to our website and just put in catalog, and you can it doesn't cost anything. You add it as a product, but then you can download it and just read it. And if you live in the US, we'll send you a copy of this in with your first order. And you can always just email us or call us and just request a copy of that. Because all of the things that I just talked about in a little bit less depth, but all of this stuff is in this catalog with a lot of frequently asked questions and details on everything that we do here. So I would love to know what you think about this. I think that there is a lot of information that's starting to surface. A lot of people are really tuning into not just Mother Nature, but their own inner intuition, their own inner wisdom, and realizing that we are a connected piece of source. That is all, God, our creator, whatever name you want to call it. And our bodies are designed to be well. And there are different layers, of course, besides just nutrition and the herbs and all the things that we're so blessed to have at our access right now as modern humans. But there are layers of emotional things that need to be addressed when you're dealing with stuff like this. Your belief systems, your ability to forgive, there are so many layers of helping this human body be healthy and whole. And here's the thing, even though that can sound completely overwhelming, because it's like, oh, there's so many layers, and how are we going to, at the end of the day, if you boil it all down, it is actually very, very simple. I do believe that we complicate it. And while there are the layers of things like good sleep and good nutrition and good water and our belief system, our mindset, all these things, at the end of the day, if you just get still and really listen to what your gut tells you, what your intuition tells you, especially once you do all your research, because then what happens is then we overanalyze all the stuff, and we don't just go somewhere with maybe an empty notebook I'm always talking about this. And then let our inner intuition, our inner higher self, our connection to God, go into a place of prayer and let the higher powers that be drop in the answers to you for everything that you need. It might sound simplistic or woo-woo, but this is the way I love to walk through life, with whatever it throws at me. And anytime I'm helping somebody in my family, a close friend, I always let that sense of what I know to be true to guide me. And I do my best to share that with everyone else, because we all have that gift. It's a part of the sovereign being that we are. All right. So I hope this was informational and educational. And again, just know this is not medical advice, all the things I shared with you. This is just meant to entertain you and educate you and give me a great reason to come on and connect with you. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and we will see you in the next one.